guys. Hello. Yeah. This is Turek. Just getting myself. And today is the new. This is Thursday evening on the 13th, and the new One Piece chapter just came out. Just like last week. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this live quickly. And then try to talk a little bit about it. I'd rather talk about it and read it. Let's see. So last week, a lot happened. We found out a lot about Vegapunk. We found out we do not know the status of like him technically. What we found out is that he has multiple bodies, probably clones, 6 of them. And they represent different, I would say, facets of his body, of himself. I put them as something similar to the 7 Deadly Sins, kind of like that. There are some different ones. There was one that's like flair, and another that's evil, another one is wisdom, and then we had like wrath and desire, and there was one other. So there's 6 of them plus Vegapunk himself for a total of 7, which I like when the number 7 is used. I've seen other books where 7 is used a lot, and I think that's a cool motif to use. And we found out also that Zoro wants something from Vegapunk, and I saw a lot of comments from a video. I forget whose I was watching, and the consensus is that he is likely gonna ask Vegapunk to find a way to cure people who have been afflicted by smile fruits, the ones that the ones that didn't work, and that Caesar was selling to Doflamingo, or Doflamingo was selling through to Kaido, and selling to Kaido, and that people, Orochi threw out to the public of Wano to mess with them basically, and they ended up having this effect where none of them ever gained Devil Fruit powers, but they, no matter what happened to them in their life, after eating that, they would always laugh and smile, and that's why they call it as a side effect of these fruits. And Zoro being very, so he is a Wano citizen essentially, a Wano from Wano. It's just that, and his family and others left Wano decades ago and went to the East Blue. But Zoro feels that connection with them. He is of their mindset more or less. Pretty obvious because he also fit right in there when he went undercover there with Law and Usopp and Sanji and everyone else were there. Well, Sanji wasn't there yet. But like Zoro, Law, Nami, Robin, Usopp, and Frankie all went there ahead while the others went to rescue Sanji. And they incorporated themselves into the cult, the people. Usopp was selling special oils to heal. And Robin, I forget Robin, was she working with, I forget what you call it. And Frankie was a carpenter, and eventually Sanji was there, and he was selling noodles. So we got that, and we have let's see. So Zoro, we found out about Zoro. The others, we found out about another one of the. We met 3 of the different clones of Vegapunk. Well, 2 of them we saw really well. We saw the one who was evil. She's patrolling island in security, and she is keeping the island safe with all these sea mammals. They have those sea creatures, and she almost went head to head with the Straw Hats that were there, which only excluded Chopper, Luffy, and Jinbei. And was stopped by the one we didn't see much of, because she realized that Lilith, this one who's evil, was in over her head. And that person said, "Bring them to me." And then we We saw Bonnie, Luffy, Jinbei, and Chopper. I keep thinking Sanji, but no. They met Wrath, the third one we did see a lot of, and that one talked about the futuristic stuff that Vegapunk, or just them, have been making and how they can't mass produce it. And other than that, the big revelation, we figured out Bonnie is the daughter of Kuma, and she's here to try and convince Vegapunk to change Kuma back, it would seem. And then the last thing, almost it's as big as Bonnie's revelation, we found out that Icus Zero has sent some of their agents. We see at least 3 of them, Lucci, Stussy, and Kaku, which we saw back in the Reverie arc about 150 chapters ago, are on their way to exterminate all the Vegapunk, him and his clones. We don't quite know why. Lucci, he's speculating what's going on, and he got shot down by his compatriots because they don't want to get snuffed by the world government. So they clearly can't talk about what's going on, even though they're like probably the tip of the sword, the best of the best in this. They can get killed off too if they ask too many questions. And they have brought with them a Seraphim, which is in the form of Kuma himself. Realize it's going to be very, very upsetting to Bonnie, now that I think about it. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Bonnie's going to be pissed seeing these things imitating him. She might even, maybe she'll even initially think it is Kuma. I actually thought it was Kuma, and he's been retrofitted to be fight them, but no, I forgot that we saw him at Reverie at the same time when we met. So we saw the Icus Zero agent, and he was being rode on by one of the Celestial Dragons as a pet, as a mount, pet slash thing. So that's about it. Let's go on to the next chapter and see what's happening. So and last thing too, I forgot that Aokiji, it's speculated that Aokiji is at Whole Cake Island now. And I had the cover page adventure, and it shows Coco Island looking like it's frozen, and I thought initially it was Caesar using some kind of weapon again. Oh, here we go. Yes, they're continuing the Tekking said that, or someone did. So the cover page continues, and we see Cracker, and I forget her name. She's the other sister with the long nose, and she's the one with the mirror fruit. They're here on the island, and everything's frozen around them, and Cracker too has been frozen solid, and the other woman is crying her eyes out, and it says Pudding has been kidnapped. I think it was Tekking or somebody else I was just watching pointed out that she would be an ideal target too from Blackbeard, because she can also, she's from the Three-Eyed Tribe that we are told can also decipher road poneglyphs. They don't need the training that Robin has. They have an innate ability to do it somehow. That is why Big Mom has Pudding. She bedded with a Three-Eyed Tribe man. We don't know anything about where they live, by the way. Maybe they're on one of the other islands we'll meet. Maybe instead of the Elbath, we'll see their tribe too soon. Maybe before Elbath, maybe not. I'd like to see Elbath sooner. I would like to see Elbath first, but if they see the Three-Eyed Tribe, that would be very interesting as well. So Pudding's been kidnapped. So this is almost certainly Blackbeard, who was sent them there to get her because he's trying to get the One Piece to be the king of the world type thing, fulfilling Zebek's plan or goals. So that's not good, and so we'll have to see what happens there. So next. So now we see, the first thing we got is Bonnie, Luffy, and Chopper, who have stuffed themselves from that the machine that produces food. And we got Wrath looking at them and very surprised at how much they can eat. And this is why, wow, you guys eat a lot. And So far, this is a good thing the way they're showing this, because I was worried that one of the Vegapunks may want to take Luffy and the others and make them into test subjects. It looks like Wrath is not one of them. All we saw so far with Wrath is that she is quite upset that things can't be mass produced, that all the creations they make, all the other engineers they try to show these blueprints to aren't able to fathom them. And the next thing it shows is this thing called the Recycle Cur, which looks like a robot dog from something out of a 1940s cartoon, eating up stuff. And Wrath waves goodbye to the Straw Hats and says she has to run something called Riot, and she has to get back to work. And the next thing we see is some people wandering by behind them. Oh, what is that? They're in little hoods. They're little chibi formed people, though at the same size as Chopper, but they're wearing a little headset, and they're walking away. And Chopper wonders who they are, and Bonnie explains they're probably lab assistants to the Vegapunk. And also, that's right, they're wearing coats like I said, and Jinbei observes that they first Jinbei observes that they weren't there, they were never there, they weren't being seen, they had not seen them a moment ago, and he wondered why if they were just hiding. And then Bonnie remarks how they are wearing clothing that looks too warm for the area they're in right now. And now we switch to something where Luffy's wearing this weird outfit that looks a lot like Wrath's. And when the others ask about it, he points to a machine that can produce clothing. And so the other three all put some neat stuff on. And now Bonnie's got like a fancy space suit. Actually, Luffy's does too. His looks a lot like what Wrath was wearing, but it's also a coat. And the other three all don something like that. Actually, they all get the same kind of boots as Wrath had. But now Jinbei's got like a tropical button-down shirt on. Sanji, I keep saying Sanji. And Chopper's got like he's also got the same coat as Luffy does. Bonnie's suit obviously looks pretty sensual. And they point out how the clothes are very light and nice and breezy. Uh-oh, now what? So now, as Bonnie's about to leave because she wants to go find the other Vegapunk, someone that looks like Kuma comes walking by. And Luffy's the one who says it looks like Kuma, and he's wearing an outfit that says police on it. And what's he about to do? Oh gosh, he's coming after him because they apparently they're using that clothes machine and incurred them to be the thieves, and he comes after them and starts shooting at them with laser beams like the pacifistas. Are you sure? So Luffy's about to attack him with a Gear 3rd elephant gun. I think that's the name of that one. But Bonnie stops him, kicks him away, and is shooting other lasers at him. And Luffy trying to figure out what's going on. This is where Bonnie explains that this is her father, meaning Kuma. But I don't think this is the Kuma either. We don't know that. This could just be a pacifista. Wait, didn't you see the pacifistas back at the Sabaody? I don't know, but so this just surprises everyone, and this especially Jinbei would understand this. Jinbei, being a warlord, knew Kuma and probably interacted with him, and yeah. And the others are saying that, so Kuma's about, this Kuma police, this pacifista, I think it is about to attack Bonnie. Oh wait, oh, look at that. We get a little thing here with Bonnie saying, please don't hurt my dad. I jumped ahead. And we see a mini little flashback in the corner showing Kuma and Bonnie when they're young. And he's holding her up, you know, like his little kid. And she's like smiling at him. He's smiling as well. He looks quite a bit different too there because he's got, I don't think he's got the glasses on. He always wore like those, what was he wearing before? Like some kind of glasses. And we can't really see his eyes here, but it's obvious he looks much different than he did when we first met him back. We first met him after Crocodile was defeated and then again at Thriller Bark. And the next thing is the pacifista's about to attack Bonnie and Luffy rushes in to pull her away because she's unable to do anything. She's become unable to act because she's just looking at this thing as her dad. Oh shit. Now we're switching scenes and this appears to be one of Blackbeard's ships. I saw the laugh. There's a panel here with him laughing, and it says a certain scene in a new world. What the fuck? Oh, so it looks like Blackbeard is pursuing Law. Wait, what the hell's going on? So they're pursuing Law, and his submarine is under the water trying to get away, and Law is trying to have them, is giving orders and whatnot, running around telling people to hurry up, get away. And Law looks like he's been turned into a girl. Is Ivankov here? But this is Blackbeard's ship, right? And there's a little scene with some of his crew members say, oh, you're so cute. And he's like, I'm going to kill you if you keep saying that. Wait, so the other crew members are getting infected somehow with some kind of power and they're all being forced to gender swap from whatever they are. And oh, we get something interesting here. So, Law says something like, okay, I know we're all freaking out being gender swapped, but we can change this back if we use enough hockey. So that's interesting. That was something that's, oh yeah, Tekken brought that up once. He thought that the girl, was it Tama or Taku? The one who had the little fruit that could make people under her control, he speculated that someone like Kaido would be immune to that power. And I thought that was a pretty good theory. And what we see here reinforces that idea that they can, if they have enough hockey, they could force this power that's changed force upon them to go back the other way. Oh god, it looks like all of Blackbeard's main men are with him here going after them. So we see the doctor guy with the horse, and we see the doctor, we see Van Augur, Doc Q. So yeah, Doc Q, Van Augur, and Jesus Burgess are all here. And Doc Q is going on about diseases and antibodies. And Burgess is telling, oh, we're getting their fruits. Okay, these guys all have devil fruits. Okay, I don't think we ever confirmed that, but now we see that that the main pirate crew of Blackbeard have fruits. So Doc Hughes reads sick fruit. So he must be the one who's forcing them to gender swap. Which is, oh, that's very appropriate that we're seeing him there and Law is there, who's the captain, but also like a doctor. Probably the best doctor we got. That'll be interesting too. We got Law. That's fine. So maybe in the future, they'll have, if there's a final battle, we'll have Law and Chopper teaming up again, have to fight Doc Q. Next we see Van Augur first, he has a warp fruit, and he's going to send Jesus Burgess to an island. I think now this is a little bit after. I think I missed the part where it said Law was going to have them land on somewhere. Land on an island to escape. And it looks like Burgess is going to come after them. Is being sent over to go after them by Augur. Yeah, and Augur comes out, Burgess comes up, and it reads, he has the buff fruit. Yeah, and so he's been transported on the ahead of where the Law pirates are to probably help encircle them, and he's using his powers. Must be, that's probably why he's such a big guy. He has powers that make his strength increase. Probably basically like the Incredible Hulk, I'm thinking. And so Law makes a very interesting comment about other powers, and he comments that they all must have hunted these powers down from other people. So that's actually something, that's probably why we never saw any devil fruits from them earlier. Each of these other guys, including Blackbeard at the time perhaps, probably never had devil fruits when we met them at the island. Oh, what's the name of the island? It was before they went to Skypiea. Before the Straw Hats went to Skypiea. Ooh, okay. So this was Blackbeard. This is where Blackbeard is also going. Blackbeard here this is must be the island that Law went to when him, Kid, and Luffy all was drawing lots to decide which island to go to. Blackbeard knew everyone left Wano, and he is waiting here to trap one of the three. And it just happens that Law is the one that came to this island, and he set up a trap there to catch him. And he's there because he figures they have the poneglyph rubbings, because everyone got some of them to be on equal grounds, Kid, Luffy, Law. And now he's there to fight, take that from Law, or whoever would have come there too. He's riding in on top of Doc Q, and he's squishing Doc Q, and even the horse is like, please get off me. Oh, so that his horse is a Mythical Zone model Pegasus. Oh, that's cool. And we end the thing off here with Law and Kaido. Blackbeard be like, okay, you got those rope poneglyphs, don't you? Give them to me. And Kid and Law's like, yeah, bring it on. I figured you have some too, so we'll see who gets who in this fight. Interesting too now. So that's interesting. When they first showed Kid Law as so that's the end of the chapter. So when they first showed Law as a woman, I figured Ivankov was there, and maybe, but Ivankov's with the Revolutionary Army right now. He couldn't have been captured yet. So he's there. He's there, and so they're heading to this island, and Blackbeard somehow perceived them coming. Although I wonder if their submarine was above water. I was just thinking, how would they do that if the submarine was traveling underwater? But it appears they were somehow tracked, one way or the other. And when is he firing at them? Was he firing at them? Oh, was that a cannon or something? I don't know, but they're going underwater to run away. And Doc Q's forcing them, just causing distress among them because they're being forced to switch. Oh, okay, so Law does, right. And Law does use his haki to force, to nullify Doc Q's ability that would turn him into a woman, by the way. At the end here, he sees his normal self again. And actually, Doc Q comments, he knows he can somehow tell that someone else, that Law was able to do that. And he has a name. I call this one the Milady Transformation Plague. Oh boy, we gotta deal with a plague character again. When we had Queen who was doing this kind of stuff in the last arc. He was a master of making plague stuff. That was his shtick too. Outside of his skill, he was a zone user. All those kind of things was a zone user, but he was also quite good at making plagues. And he had that one that was turning people into frozen zombie things that Chopper had to create a cure for. But now we got another foe who's going to be doing that. That's going to make Chopper really irate. And then Van Augur's got a teleportation power. Oh, that's going to make hard. That's going to be hard for. That's going to be an interesting challenge for Usopp to deal with, because he's a long range guy, and that means he's going to have to be careful with Augur when he fights him, because this guy can just get close to you anytime he wants, within reason, I'm sure. And it's funny how quickly he came here. This is funny too. That's right. Now we've seen Blackbeard for the first time. A few chapters ago, we saw him at Boa Hancock's island, and now he's here. So we still have no idea where he's got Kobe. So we got to figure out what Kobe is. Still, I was hoping to figure that out, but instead we're just getting more of the current action, which is great too. And also we got something with Jesus Burgess. He's got some kind of fruit that makes him immensely strong. That's going to be an interesting challenge. That's interesting. That'll be an interesting challenge for Frankie. That'll be interesting because didn't Frankie have to deal with... No, Frankie fought the other guy. I was thinking of that guy, one of Doflamingo's followers, who had that fruit where he could make himself insanely strong, heavy. But he ended up fighting some of the other people who were helping the Straw Hats. So my point is, if Jesus Burgess and Frankie end up fighting, which seems likely, Frankie's going to need one hell of a robot to deal with someone like him. And yeah, Law mentions that they must have got these fruit powers from other people, and we haven't seen any of these fruits before, but we can assume they came from other Devil Fruit pirate crews. So we got 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3. Van Augur. Wasn't there one other guy? I thought that was a fifth guy. Who's the other? I thought there was 5. Oh yeah. I remember him. The skinny guy, the one who went on Blackbeard's behalf and convinced the Sengoku to make Blackbeard a warlord. He's not here. He's the only one not present, so we don't know what he's got, if he's got a devil fruit. I can't think of his name right now. Let me pull it up quickly. Lachaffe or something? It wasn't like a French. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Lafitte. Yeah, we don't see Lafitte here. Right? Vulgar, Q, and Jesus Burgess are here. We don't see Lafitte. Also, by the way, when it ended off with Luffy and Bonnie, as Luffy's running toward Bonnie to save her, the last scene just shows a faraway shot of Pacifista Blast is wrecking the outside of the island. We see the trees getting plowed down, water getting blown away, and that's where that ended there. But this is almost certainly some kind of Pacifista. It doesn't look quite like Kuma, unless this is the real Kuma, but we're supposed to believe that the real Kuma is at Marijois. Maybe that's... Oh. Maybe it wasn't, and that's why she left. I was thinking she just left because she needed to get something from... Bonnie would need something from Vegapunk to go back to Marijois and fix Kuma, but maybe that wasn't even a real Kuma, and this one is. Maybe he ended up here. So we're pretty sure we saw him right at Sabaody. He was protecting the Sunny for 2 years. Then we saw him at Reverie, and now we thought that was him, but maybe this is the real one. By the way, too, when it shows him walking up to toward them after they put those new clothes on, we see a lot of other background people walking around, these other assistants of different shapes and sizes. There's like some other short characters. That one has their hood off. There's something that looks like a robot. We see two more with hoods on there, and two other people walking away that are, one's one outfit kind of like Bonnie had, and one looks like another coat. So we know there's other assistants and stuff around here helping Wrath. Still no clue why he's got maybe this is the one with the that's right, he has the bear ears, maybe because he has that pawpaw fruit. Also, by the way, I noticed when he first goes after them and shoots at them, that can't be the Kuma. When he first fires a laser at him, it's coming out of his left hand and not his mouth. If that was a real Kuma, I would think he couldn't do that if his pawpaw fruit powers is there. That's how he initiates it. He uses the front of his hand. It's like the perfect shield, as he can stop what your attacks from coming and deflect them almost anything, virtually anything, as far as we know. But no, he shoots at him with his hand first, and then at the last shot he shoots again. He's actually using his mouth this time, like the other pacifistas had been doing at Sabaody. So I am unconvinced that this is the real Kuma at this point. And unfortunately, yeah, we did not see any other of the Vegapunk clones or anything else this time. We just got this part with Kuma, and then we switched to Law and the Blackbeard pirates. By the way, do they show Beppo there? It looks like Beppo got turned into a girl too, as well as the other members. I recognize some of their faces from before, but don't know all their names. Also looks like his horse name is Stronger. That cute. Is there a break next week? Doesn't look like it. Look at the color chapters. So, good chapter. Real good chapter. So now we're finding out what's happening there. So Blackbeard now is focused on, as well as getting other devil fruits where he can. He almost got Boas a couple weeks ago. He is after the other his rivals now in order to get the road poneglyph things, maps, the papers, the sheets I'm going to call them, so he can get to the One Piece, which is my kind of worst fear. I'm always thinking about that when that plot device is used where you race against time to get to something. It's always like, no, please get there first. Please get there first. And it's just like Blackbeard just seems like the kind of guy you really have to be careful with that, where he's slippery enough, clever enough, and got enough backup that he can possibly beat you out there if you're not careful, if you let your guard down. Oh, Wrath, I missed this bit. Wrath is commenting on how much the other Straw Hats and Bonnie were eating, and you have bulging bellies, and then Jinbei says mine was already like that. Also, they have that little robot. So something here, Wrath mentioned something about Riot, running something called Riot, but we don't know what that is, so there's a little something there. Also, when Luffy puts that coat on, it reads the SSG. VP is written on hers, SSG on his. Jinbei mentions that these clothes would probably help with the disguises if they weren't already known by that Vegapunk Nosa there. Oh wait, no, the first time Kuma does attack them, he does use his mouth beam first, blowing at them, and then he does a second, and then he starts using his hand beam right as Luffy's about to attack with his elephant gun. That when Bonnie stops him, then he fires it again, and then he switches back one more time to his mouth. So he can shoot beams. This one can shoot beams from his hands and his mouth as he pleases, it seems. And also, Jinbei commented that he thinks because they're pirates, that's why this thing's possibly reacting like this. Because it's defending the island from pirates coming in. So that's all I got today. I'm going to leave it off here and then I'll do a post video at some point, I'm sure.